I'm excited to be talking to you about the wellness pyramid today. And that's the first concept that is foundational to any wellness approach, is this wellness pyramid. This is similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It has a foundation of nutrition and digestion. So if this is not going well, most of what we do to take care of specific complaints is not going to work well. And if it does, it won't work well for long. As an example, if someone's having challenges with sleep, but they're eating at 11:30 p.m., which we know can give them issues with sleep, how we approach will not work well until we discuss nutrition and digestion. As it turns out, 9 out of the 10 most impactful risk factors for health are rooted in poor nutrition. Unhealthy lifestyle leads to a variety of health concerns, and the lifestyle choices you make each day are the foundation for your wellness. Now, the reverse of this is also true. If we pay very little attention to our lifestyle, then we get to focus more on our medical care. I know that you've all seen this in the lives of individuals you've worked with over the years. Many of us are having our own awakening. So let's focus on the wellness pyramid rather than the unwellness pyramid, because that's our goal, to remain well. Today's healthy foods are still very different from the historic diets our genes are programmed for. For thousands of years, agricultural breeding has always had the goal of improving yield and taste. And since many micronutrients don't taste good, they've been inadvertently bred out of our food. The wild apple has about 100 times more phytonutrients and much more vitamin C than apples you can buy in the grocery store today. And this is just one example of what's happened to our entire food supply. This New York Times article, Breeding the Nutrition Out of Our Food, from May 2013, said the loss of these beneficial nutrients did not begin 50 or 100 years ago, as many assume. Unwittingly, we have been stripping phytonutrients from our diet since we stopped foraging for wild plants some 10,000 years ago and became farmers. One would have to eat 8 oranges today to derive the same amount of vitamin A as our grandparents would have gotten from just 1 orange. The U.S. Department of Agriculture report on over 40 common fruits and vegetables has revealed that around 50% of the substances containing vitamins and minerals essential for optimal human health has suffered a considerable decline in nutrient content between the years of 1950 and 1999. Those declines range from 6 to 38%. Hippocrates, around 400 BC, said eating alone will not keep a man well. He must also take exercise. In the early 1900s, with the rise of modern surgery and pharmaceuticals, medicine shifted from a prevention focus to a treatment focus. Interestingly, physicians de-emphasized exercise just as the modern Olympics swelled in popularity and colleges began building stadiums to accommodate America's growing love of spectator sports. In 1905, a physician published an article in the Journal of the American Medical Association stating, quote, "The men on the teams are the very ones whom nature has endowed superabundantly with physical capacity, but on them, the physical director or coach bends most of his energies, while the average student is left to get his physical development by yelling from the bleachers," unquote. Physical activity was no longer the medicine of the masses, but the privilege of elite athletes. In Rest and Manage Stress, it's important to mention this study, which was out of Finland, which indicates that people who are sleeping less than 8 hours daily are 21 to 26% more likely to die from any cause than those who slept more than 8 hours. As a matter of fact, sleep deprivation in mice will kill them faster than starvation can. Sleeplessness can significantly impact your cardiovascular health. One study in Japan showed that those who slept more than 6 hours a night are 4 to 5 times more likely to enjoy significantly better cardiovascular health than those who got less than 6 hours of sleep. Dr. Maiken Nedergaard, a neuroscientist from the University of Rochester, studied the brain during sleep and found that the brain runs a system of checks on itself to ensure that the balance of hormones, enzymes, and proteins aren't too far off kilter, during which time brain cells contract, opening up the spaces between them so that fluid can wash out the toxic detritus that can cause all kinds of problems if it builds up. Quote, "It's kind of like a dishwasher that keeps flushing through to wash the dirt away," unquote. Without that nightly wash cycle, dangerous toxins can damage healthy cells and interfere with their ability to communicate with one another. In the short term, that can impede memory formation and the ability to coherently compose our thoughts and regulate our emotions. So let's talk about reduced toxic exposure and support detoxification. It makes sense that exposure to environmental chemicals has been linked to significant health challenges. Toxic load refers to the harmful chemicals that accumulate in the body through exposure. Now, this exposure can come through air, water, food, chemicals in personal products, and household cleaners. They can also come from medications, plastics, herbicides, and pesticides. And interestingly, our own body produces toxins through a variety of metabolic processes every day. Remember the neurons in the brain contracting during sleep, allowing toxins to be washed out and cleaning up our brains? Those are the toxins that are washed out. Over the last few decades, we've become increasingly aware of how endocrine-disrupting chemicals are affecting us. Now, endocrine-disrupting chemicals, or EDCs, are substances in the environment, food sources, personal care products, and manufactured products that interfere with the normal function of your body's endocrine system. They are chemicals or mixtures of chemicals that interfere with the way the body's hormones work. They act like hormone mimics and trick our body into thinking that they are hormones. They may block natural hormones from doing their job. They could increase or decrease the levels of hormones in our blood by affecting how they're made, broken down, or stored in our body, and can change how sensitive our bodies are to different hormones, which is why they've been linked to numerous adverse human health outcomes that are increasing in rate and effect. We need to start identifying where these toxins are coming from and what we might do to ditch those items and switch to a more natural or pure product that can do the same thing. So let's talk a little bit about informed self-care. Informed self-care is the upper part of our wellness pyramid, which actually becomes part of our health care, where we can take care of some of our needs ourselves. If we were to break down the key areas or pillars of informed self-care, it would include immunity, healthy inflammatory response, metabolic concerns, and mental health. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to take a few minutes and describe some concepts in proactive medical care that I hope that you'll enjoy and really take to heart from the standpoint of a physician. We'll talk about that at the end. Thank you.